out for it. And with that being said, Polly, we got it. It's time.
We're going in there, and it is going to be on small line of fortress. What? Yeah, I think that's the name of the map. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're seeing the expected legend picks coming out from Spyrox and Koko, Fiend on the Queen Eye, and Use on the Brawlhalla.
Interesting stuff. Okay, so right now, Spyrox just looking for this opening, gets that, and wait, why didn't the neutral grab? Did you see that?
Not entirely sure. We might have to look at that on replay if we have time. But so far, quite an even game coming out here. Use is looking quite healthy. Also want to take a quick moment to mention that this is Elimination's bracket. So whoever goes down here, whoever goes down here is going down there.
I don't know who knocked them into Elimination. This is huge. They have a lot of pressure on the line. Koko right now just backed off a little bit. They're separated. You see Use just sort of keeping them out. Okay, getting a little something started. Fiend with those spear combo spear. The lance, the anti-lance weapon. It's been like that since day one. It is still like that.
Absolutely. So far, looking like it's in a slight favor of Spyrox and Koko here, and they're keeping it going, getting pretty good damage onto Fiend all the way down to orange here.
Yeah, no, this is exactly the way that you want to open off now. Spyrox has to play down, but just still continuing with the aggression, getting these pickups, looking for these recoveries. No longer gauntlets in hand. How do you actually get something going with the spear? This is huge, the double juggle.
This is absolutely massive right now. Spyrox is finally going to be going down from a Axe D-Sig, actually coming out from Use there. They have a super strong lead. Fiend coming out with the N-Sig though, that's going to deal a lot of damage. Spyrox is ready to take down that KO though with a recovery.
Right now, Koko coming back in there. What a pickup. They were ready for it. They were in the best possible position to actually follow up off of that situation. Now Use just dash dancing in place, stuck in that Koko Spyrox sandwich. But Spyrox actually going to be smacking around his own teammate.
Going to be smacking around their own teammate. Indeed, they have a massive lead right now, but Use actually massive work there on the offstage with that axe, getting a, I'd like to call that an early KO onto Spyrox.
Yeah, for sure. That was the bottom blast ones on this stage. It feels like they're up a little bit higher, but either way, that spike would have taken out any stock at any point. Now, both of them are kind of a disadvantage, but that double down light, hitting both of your enemies at once, this is exactly the way that you want to open off game one. That's exactly the kind of combo that you want to be able to establish. Koko and Spyrox, this is number 11 and number 10 in EU. Dude, they took game one off of 4-3 in SA. This is huge.
Yeah, this is a massive start for Spyrox and Koko here. We're going to have to see if they're going to be able to ride on this wave of momentum that they have from this first victory. But I do want to mention, for this being a first victory for Spyrox and Koko, we saw 2v2 combos come out from Koko and Spyrox, but we didn't see any pop-offs.
Yes, the thing is this, sometimes it's not about the flashy 20-second cutscenes. Sometimes it's all about, hey, my opponent is in the orange. I have somebody that's ready to start on the ground. Let's say you're on Spill, you're looking for that downlight, you're looking for that neutral, and then you have somebody just above. You can't true combo off of neutral, you have to like find a dodge. That's why your teammate is there. Koko was setting up on the ground. Spyrox was always in the air with the gauntlets. That kind of synergy, that kind of positioning is what got them game one. Let's see how it goes into game two.
It's all about the small conversions, Dara, to be able to get just a couple of hits extra. That's going to get you really, really far. Spyrox and Koko are amazing at doing that, and we'll see if they're going to be able to keep it going now. Use and Fiend managing to get some pretty good damage, but Spyrox and Koko returning it, and now with another combo, and they keep it going for so long.
They keep it going. They got these follow-ups on deck, 1, 2, 3 pieces at a time. Koko getting that double side light, it happens, but your enemies at a little bit higher damage. They took more knockback.
Oh my God, Spyrox! Spyrox is popping off with that N-Sig.
Okay. Koko just gonna be, a little bit of friendly fire. You have a lead, you can get away with it.
But Spyrox and Koko are putting in so much work, but the hits coming out from the Queen Eye and Brawlhalla, they do damage there. And Spyrox and Koko are all the way down at red already. Those hits that you're receiving from Use and Fiend, you're feeling them.
Oh, that's one stock. Koko is still going to be stuck off stage. Fiend actually prioritized getting the weapon instead of getting like that platform and bottom like stage coverage to get the edge guard. Is it going to matter too much? Not quite, because the stock was cleaned up on Koko before he was able to deal too much more damage.
Fiend trying to get something started there onto Spyrox, not able to get something huge, so Use is going to be following that up. Right now it's looking like control might have slightly shifted. Fiend and Use are looking pretty solid right now.
Oh, absolutely. Fiend on these Kataris as well. Kataris is that combo weapon. That chase dodge up was exceptional. Koko now going to be stuck on the ground, looking to get that whiff punish. Is able to find it on that GC. I think that's the down sig, right?
Quite even out throughout so far. Koko with the lance. I'm looking at Koko with that lance. Koko on lance is not to be underestimated. I am always afraid whenever I see Koko on the lance.
Koko starts and Spyrox finishes. That is the beauty of their synergy. They're on top of it. Spyrox now controlling the ground, looking through this anti-air, goes out there for the slide off down sig, commits a little bit too much, and now all of a sudden, this is a double edge guard. Fiend not actually able to pick it up with that massive spear ground pound.
Yeah, not going to be able to find that whatsoever. Spyrox and Koko getting super close to be able to find these KOs. Now there's the first one taking down Fiend. Spyrox is looking for it. I smell the recovery, but they're going to be throwing away that weapon instead. Baiting him out a little bit, only to grab the KO at a later point.
Massively. This is exactly the way that you want to be taking off game 2 here. Right now, Koko, lance in hand, yet again able to call out that jump. Excellent dodge from Use, staying in the game a little bit longer, but Spyrox going all the way out there. Wants another one of those gauntlet spikes. It's an offstage battle.
It is an offstage battle, which Spyrox is going to be able to recover from. Use 2 by the looks of things. That's a quick 2v2 combo coming out on Use and Fiend though. And can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that Koko has not been KO'd yet?
Okay. You looked at me when you said that. You looked so confident. And then, alas, that was Koko's second stock gone. Spyrox makes it back onto the stage, trying to look for some sort of a jump call out. And I'm surprised Koko didn't actually get a whiff punish on Use for hitting his own teammate.
I was gonna say, can we take a moment to appreciate how long Spyrox has not been KO'd for, but then he just got KO'd
That
as
time
well.
you bit you tongue. It was a good choice, Polly.
Yeah, 100%. Spyrox with the D-Lights there, almost KOing Use. Not just yet though. Going to need maybe 1 or 2 more hits. Ground pound coming out. That's not going to be enough either. And oh man, this is looking like a slaughterhouse right now. Use is stuck in between Spyrox and Koko, and that's a French sandwich you don't want to be part in.
Yeah. Use going to be coming back onto stage with that too, just trying to avoid that baguette, but it does not matter. The crust was a little bit too sharp, just going to be still sent off stage anyways. That's going to be game 2 for Koko and Spyrox. They're playing well, they're playing off of each other, they're getting those combos, they're asserting stage control. What more could you ask for? This is the perfect sandwich, ham, a little bit of butter on a baguette, beautiful, simple, minimalistic.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Fiend and Use to be able to take this back. If anything, I would have to guess that maybe Fiend and Use are going to opt to like try and swap their legend. Maybe, perhaps, because it just looks like so far, Koko and Spyrox are quite simply outplaying them. It might not be with a large margin, but that is what is happening at the end of the day.
I will say this, I feel like I've seen this every single time with blasters and doubles. If it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. I feel like oftentimes some of the dead zones in a lot of the hitboxes, you know, you want to sort of exploit your disjoints, right? But the issue is when you're going up against Lance, which is massive and just able to whiff punish from half the distance, it doesn't feel like you're able to space out with blasters, especially in a 2 setting. So as a result, like Uses maybe not asserting themselves on stage as much as possible as they would like, and they're getting a little bit silly with it. They're having a good time.
They are definitely having a good time. I mean, can't we blame them? They're 2-0 right now. They're feeling good. They didn't even practice coming into this. So, of course they're feeling good.
Unpracticed, and they're playing this hot. They're going to take the set. They're playing beautifully.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would call it that early. I'm not sure if I would count out Use and Fiend that early. They're very strong players, though.
And again, comparing the PRs of all of these different regions that are so separate, you have Brazil going up against France. They did not practice with each other a lot. There's a difference in style, but the question is, you know, what does PR in a completely different region, how does that actually translate to different
that's
ones?
debatable. That is very, very debatable, and I'm not even going to really get into that. But what we are going to get into is...
That's how you start a fight.
Yeah, that's how you start a fight, all right? Don't say that out loud. But we are going to get into this next game, and this is going to be the game to decide them all, and we are seeing the double Legend Swap coming over. Use on the Bryn and Fiend on the Hattori.
You know what I've realized? In doubles, typically, right, you want to interrupt somebody, like if they hit your teammate, you can get a whiff punish on them, right? Because they're still stuck into end lag. Lance does not give you that because of how stupidly big that button is. It is massive. It covers so much space. But look at that little bit of a combo. Now Fiend going to be knocking Spyrox off stage. The name of the game is to separate the two. Wow.
I mean, to be fair, so far the name of the game doesn't seem to be separating them. It just seems to be just doing bigger 2v2 combos than them. Like Fiend and Use are like beating Spyrox and Koko at their own game right now. We're seeing massive 2v2 combos. We're seeing Fiend being extremely confident on that sword. This is a completely different Use and Fiend we're seeing.
Oh, but I love the fact that Spyrox didn't go out there for the edge guard. First, the priority, clean up that stock on Fiend. But that's one spike, dodges past that second one, makes it back, past that down hill, eating
nice
that side stick. Ooh, big.
Swapping over to the Axe now. I don't think we've seen Use on the Axe so far. Actually, they were on it for the Brawlhalla, but you know, with the N-Sig they have on Bryn, you're going to be able to get a lot more of that KO potential. And again, Use and Fiend are looking extremely solid this game. Fiend is going to be going down, and Use is going to be following quickly thereafter. Spyrox with the double KO, but Koko is quite damaged here.
They can easily even up this damage as soon as they put themselves back onto the ground. As soon as Spyrox can be the one to control the skies, you see how effective Spyrox is, just keeping his eyes laser focused on Koko. Always looking to see, how am I going to feed you an opponent? How will I be able to follow up off of you?
Yeah, at all times you gotta be ready, especially, you know, with 2v2, it comes down to a general view of the game. You can't be having any kind of tunnel visioning, which Spyrox and Koko are absolutely amazing at. They know exactly what's happening at all times.
But when Koko is not covering the ground, that's when Spyrox actually gets covered in the air. But that is huge. That is a massive, massive sig. And now the question is, how do you make this back? This is a big deficit.
It's not really that much big of a deficit, but you know, it's growing. I mean, I just saw Use go from white to orange in a couple of seconds.
All of a sudden it's their lead. What happened? This just keeps fluctuating.
Keeps fluctuating for sure. That's what happens. I mean, as we said earlier, Use and Fiend, they also are having a lot of pop-off moments. These are two players that are getting a lot of their damage in short time spans.
They're occupying different sides of the stage. They're slowing it down a little bit, and now Use sets it up. I love that repositioning. Going back to be able to cover high with the spear recovery. Coming back in, Use patrolling it. Okay, finally finds out neutral light. Chase dodges up. Maybe trying to get a whiff punish on Koko here, and coming back in so aggressively. Use and Fiend are coming alive. They're playing hot. They're warming up. They're picking apart at Koko and Spyrox's style.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's Spyrox and Koko. It's not looking good for them. Fiend is going to find that ground pound, and they're looking for the KO. Spyrox managed to avoid that ground pound, but they're not going to be able to avoid getting knocked out.
And Use just going out there, not afraid. And that stage spike could be massive. Koko going to be missing that next attack. Has to go through the weapon toss, but that's going to be the slide off. That's going to be the stop.
All right.
SA Brazil going to be staying alive. Here in twos, Fiend and Use not going to be giving up any time soon.
They are not going down without a fight, and it looks like these picks are working out great for them so far. One thing I kind of want to touch on real quick there was the ground pound that Fiend was doing on the off stage against Spyrox. And one thing that Senketsu pointed out beautifully one time when I was casting with him is that you can have someone be good enough at edge guarding that they're so scary whenever they're throwing out options that they're just going to SD from trying to avoid their options.
Yep. This is what I want to see. I talked a little bit about, like, okay, I feel like this will be a Spyrox Koko 3-0, but it was my hope.
Oh, we're 15 seconds deep.
Okay, at least no stock's gone. Damage is kind of even-ish. Spyrox and Koko on the slight damage deficit at this point.
All right, Sarah coming out. Spyrox doing some massive work on this gauntlets right now. Quite even all throughout the board right now. But Spyrox is looking a lot more explosive on these gauntlets so far.
Woo! And Fiend on the spear. We're talking about Spyrox on the gauntlets, but Fiend on the spear, just classic B&B, just able to set up and recycle that same situation over and over again. Koko right now just trying to get their feet on the ground, trying to find this next opening, moving over and around Use. But look what's happening off stage. Fiend is fiending.
Dude, his offstage with the bow, I'm gonna record this and break it down later. I could learn a thing or two from this guy. Jesus Christ, this beer
Anybody
is
back
clean.
home. Look at the positioning. Look at the way that they're managing the resources. Okay, though, Koko coming in with the recovery. Use just could be finding that punish. This is such a back and forth game. Use's sock is finally gone. Fiend might be soon to follow, but Spyrox a little bit too far to the right, was not able to deal with all that knockback, but Koko still cleans it up.
Koko is going to be able to clean that up. They are still, you know, if you look at the damage real quick, they are in a little bit of a deficit, but, you know, considering what kind of start they had, I feel like they might be slowly catching up, but that's going to be Spyrox going down to a use now, and it's not looking good with the combo coming out too.
Who are the combo Fiends now? It's Fiend and Use. Spyrox and Koko, their own game is being used against them. Fiend trying to start something with that falling neutral. If a sword player is looking for like a falling neutral, they're up to no good at all.
Yeah, they're absolutely not up to any good. Spyrox looking so damaged here, and for once, we're seeing a Spyrox that's trying to be kind of laid back. We're seeing a Spyrox that's afraid to go for long strings. And in general, I'd say their momentum is kind of screwed over, but as I say that, I mean, they just do some classic Spyrox and Koko stuff.
That's what you would say, and that's the thing. That's the X factor that Koko and Spyrox bring to the table. Does not matter what the damage difference is, does not matter what the stock deficit is, because they're able to start it over and over again. They're able to make these deficits disappear. So will they be able to make this one disappear? The damage is basically even. Who's going to clutch this out?
Sidelight was coming out. Oh, the D-light is huge. Spyrox was able to clash it out. The NSA coming out. If that hit both of them, that would have been devastating.
Koko was staying alive, not going to be knocked out anytime soon. Koko right now just looking for this next opening. This is scary stuff.
Oh, that's Koko going down. Spyrox in a rough spot, and Use and Fiend are going to take it to a Game 5, Dara.
Wow. This is what you want to see. This is exactly what you want to see. This is eliminations. This is top 12. If I am not mistaken, the next set makes it into top 8. There might be one more after. But this is the beauty of the eliminations bracket. This is where you see the most tense play. This is where the most is on the line. You're losing winners, you have another chance. Not when you're down this deep, baby. Spyrox, Koko, Use, Fiend. Clash of the Continents, man.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are going back into it. Spyrox with the Zapapi tech swapping over real quick to a Chun-Li instead of instead of the skin there, trying to get some of that crossover action.
That's right. Okay, right now just going to be just dash jumping over and over again. Spyrox just, I feel like they've an established dynamic. Spyrox in the air, waiting for Koko just to lay up something, especially with X. There's a lot of moves that can just pop an opponent up. You see that coverage with the ground pound spear.
Overall, you know, this is Game 5. Everyone here knows what is at stake. They don't want to go out and do something massive. You know, we are not seeing super explosive gameplay just because, you know, it's not worth the risk in a situation like this. We're seeing both Fiend and Use and Spyrox and Koko being a little bit more laid back here, at least in the first stock.
Yeah, actually, exactly. You don't want to be overcommitting now. That was huge. But not a single KO actually came out of it. You did put them both into disadvantage. Koko is the one that's still staying alive. Has to play the situation gently. Yo, fading back on that neutral layer, even if Koko just lost that stock, that was essential. That was absolutely essential to make sure that you didn't get counter hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Use and Fiend now having the stock advantage, and they are racking up the damage. Koko with the quick endlight, though, going to be throwing them out, but they're able to get back and secure stage control again. Just getting more and more damage, and a huge combo as well. Fiend and Use are popping off there.
They need to close. They need to cut the bleeding ASAP. Right now, Spyrox going out there.
Oh my lord! Use and Fiend are on fire, Dara. And that is now 6 stocks against 3, 6 stocks against 2. Dude, okay, now this is looking so tough for Spyrox and Koko right now.
Can they do this? Maybe.
It's possible.
You can clean up these first couple of stocks quite easily. The next couple are going to be more difficult, but if anybody can do it, it is the power and combo game that Spyrox and Koko bring. That's one, that's two. 2 more. Can this be done?
It's a start. It is a start. And Spyrox and Koko, again, they are players that rely on pop-off moments. If they're able to find the stuff onto Use and Fiend, you know, it can get evened out quite quickly.
Is this an anime that's never going to get a season 2? Is this just going to be a cliffhanger until the end of time? We will not know. Fiend right now going to be getting that juggle. Goes all the way out there.
That's the early KO off the top.
And now it's 4 stocks to 1. The combo game potential is totally lost. This has to be it.
This is almost impossible, but Spyrox is going to stay in there anyway. But that is going to be the KO. Ladies and gentlemen, Use and Fiend, after 5 grueling games, are going to be advancing. Well played, and GG's to Spyrox and Koko, but unfortunately, that's going to be the end of their bracket run.
That was the most aggressive high five I've ever seen.
That was insane.
Tomorrow is going to have to DQ with a broken wrist. Oh my god, everybody, that was an incredible set. That was quite the reverse trio. Spyrox and Koko losing flame a little bit at the end there. And honestly, this is something that I bring up all the time. The stylized players versus the ones that are a little bit higher on the PR. Yes, it's more difficult to actually compare PRs of different regions, but what distinguishes the top 5 of any given region and everybody else below it is how well they play in a best-of-5 setting. They age like cheese. They age like wine. They get more funky over time. They get more leads. They're able to play more consistently, and that's what separates an excellent player from an extraordinary player. Using Fiend, they played solid, they played consistent. Their combo game was impeccable. They separated Spyrox and Koko exactly when they needed to, and Spyrox and Koko just weren't able to do the thing. They got a couple of KOs off of it, they got a couple of knockouts, but it wasn't still to the same extent as it was in Game 1 and Game 2.
I would also like to quickly point out that the turning point in the set was really when they decided to swap up picks. I mean, like, you have X amount of things that you can do with your current composition, and if you change that composition, you all of a sudden have all these new things that you have available to you that you can do.
Yeah, and that's like why it's so difficult to actually make it back like onto the stage. Even if you get like a chase dodge by hitting your opponent, there's a second opponent. It's a 2v1, buddy. GG's. There is absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Excellent stuff to use in Fiend. They were down 2 games. They were down 2 games in actually a fashion that I felt like was pretty confident for Spyrox and Koko. I felt in my chest I wanted a Game 5, but it was my genuine thought that Spyrox and Koko were going to take it. They didn't do it.
Yeah, no, Koko and Spyrox, they were incredibly close, but unfortunately not just all the way there. Using Fiend with an incredible ability at adapting over time, as you said, aging like wine, also with that legend swap. And I feel like maybe then in the future too,